This Futuramp's return was at best a hard maybe, till our brazen booze bot declared,
"We're back, baby!" Hello.
Here's 10 things I loved about Futurama Season 8, Episode 1, The Impossible Stream. Keep in mind that this is merely a first impressions video, and if you want to see more proper reviews of the reboot as well as the original seasons, be sure to subscribe and hit that bell so you'll be the first ones to know when those drop. But for now, let's see what emotions this season's pilot made me express. Number 1. It's been 10 years since our favorite crew emerged from unpaid time stasis. So what exactly changed during that long wait period? Nothing. Yeah, like almost nothing. The time difference is almost completely unnoticeable. I have seen Arthur Fonzarelli drive brand new sports cars down lard-covered roads on the moon that were less smooth than this transition. Exactly how I saw that is none of your business. I am not kidding. These mad lads literally just picked up immediately where they left off without skipping a beat, and it's absolutely seamless. No visual or animation changes that'll take some getting used to, no jarring recasts of the core characters, no tonal shifts, no dynamic changes, nada. You could literally continue binge watching straight from Meanwhile, and it'll feel like these episodes were made directly after. Your evolution into a sofa-laden vegetable won't have to wait, my friends. And speaking of binging, number 2. That's precisely what this episode's all about. In true Futurama fashion, they take something mundane and commonplace and add an absurdist creative twist to it. In this case, a full-body televised suit that helps you binge watch so quickly and forcefully that any minor change will cause you to perish due to losing your slim grip on reality. Ah, mortality and chill. And to help Fry stay alive in this precarious state, Leela and Bender set off to produce as many hour-long episodes of All My Circuits on the hour that they possibly can. Lightspeed hijinks ensue, Farnsworth comes up with a brilliant way to return Fry to reality, we find out that he left the suit ages ago, and we end on an awkward news broadcast, which I'll get into later. The Futurama's ability to write such timeless stories, even when focusing on some dated subject matter, will never cease to amaze me. And even with certain upcoming topics that sound like narrative poison, I'm gonna keep my chin up and hope for the best. Number 3. I'm not gonna lie, the humor was the thing I was the most paranoid about. Whenever an old show gets retooled for the modern age, especially a comedy, it's obvious that the jokes are gonna take some sort of a beating. Whether it be tackling new and trendy topics of the current age, which could lead to insane cringe, or just being completely shredded because of new sensibilities. Well, leave those worries at the door and wipe your feet, I guess, because Futurama is just as hilarious and consistent as it's always been, nailing both quality and quantity. Quality-wise, we've got gags like Bender finding a heart attack hilarious, Fry's definition of binging, and this absolute gem from Calculon.
Asking an actor to ad-lib is like asking a guy to 5.
This really does show that half the magic of Futurama are the voice performances and delivery. Like on its own, that joke was decently written, but Maurice LaMarche's portrayal, which hasn't aged a single nanosecond by the way, is the magic spark that just brings everything together. And they don't slouch on the amount of jokes either. Futurama's JPM ratio has always been a staple of how amazing it is. If one zinger won't get you, you can guarantee that the next 3 or 4 will. This episode keeps up that tradition, slamming out one-liners and reactions with nothing feeling cringy, stretched out, or try-hard. Just the same rapid-fire laughs we've always gotten. Comedy just comes so naturally to this cast and crew, and I love it. Number 4. Heads of Lincoln and JFK rejoice! There will be no character assassinations this day! Much like the visuals and story, the characters haven't changed one lick either. Fry is still dim, but incredibly lovable. Leela is tough as nails, but not afraid to get emotional, one of the things I love most about her. Farnsworth is apathetic and sadistic, Hermes is all business, Zoidberg's adorable, Amy is Amy, and Bender is the reason I still have will to live. Which is ironic, because he's probably planning to kill me. I know it's only been 1 episode, and it's not like every member of the cast was exploding with memorable moments within this runtime, but there are just enough references, one-liners, and utterance of their catchphrases to remind us that things are right back to normal. Still waiting for a few characters like Zap, Kif, Leela's parents, and Robot Santa to make their debuts, but if they're just as well portrayed as the PE Sextet, then I'm not the least bit worried. Number 5. As someone who's been binging the series for days now, preparing for a certain series of videos, it was so nice to see all the continuity callbacks and references to the show appearing on screen. We had big things like Calculon returning from hell after his overdramatic food coloring laced death scene, and the execubots from Bender's Not Allowed on TV are back, including Beta rolling the dice to decide the fall schedule. But there are also small touches too, like Fry's email address being panucciassistant@panucci.com, referencing his old workplace, Calculon's hatred of doing second takes, and... wait, Swarms Mackenzie is still alive? He somehow survived his violent death during that cave-in? You can escape life, but you can never escape your contract. Poor guy. The callbacks felt like just enough to remind us of the good old days without any blatant repeating plot points or signs of desperation. Just some nice nudges to us longtime fans without confusing new viewers. The way it should be. Number 6. While Fry and Leela aren't super focused on in this episode, it was nice to see the two of them being loving and concerned for each other. With Leela supporting Fry's ridiculous new life goal of watching every TV show ever made, and then crying when she thinks it got disintegrated, and Fry striving to be ambitious not just for himself, but also to be a man that Leela can be proud of. I've always loved watching these two together, and as one of the few weirdos who prefers couples getting together over will they won't they stuff, it'll be nice to see how the pair's relationship develops over the new season. Plus, we did get a hint at Kif and Amy during one scene, so maybe they'll get some plots of their own as well? Come on, my dudes had to endure a decade of depravity. Let the man enjoy his Chinese takeout. Number 7. Okay, so there's this one scene in the episode where Leela and Bender were negotiating with the Hulu folks, and they mentioned picking up the show for 20 episodes with an option for 20 more and maybe a movie. We already know Futurama has 20 episodes ready to go with this new season, so are they saying that we could potentially be getting another full season in the future along with a movie? Let me tell you, Futurama's movies are some of the best stories of the whole show, except when they aren't, so if they're already teasing us with that in their first returning episode, they must have a lot of confidence in their ability to deliver. And honestly, so do I so far. Number 1. Hey! Alright, if there's anything to get up in arms about regarding the writing, it's the meta commentary about Futurama's cancellation. They make way too many jokes about it throughout the episode, and it's really only funny to people who are aware of what happened to the actual show. Heck, I know what happened to the show, and even I don't find it funny. Maybe it would have been passable if it was just some occasional jabs from Bender, like him saying that the show got canceled multiple times by multiple networks, but then there's a whole epilogue sequence where Fry presents himself to Nixon's head and delivers this ham-fisted speech about the importance of streaming responsibly, and a show only coming back if the quality is there, and it's like, alright, we get it, you're talking about Futurama, it's not funny anymore. I'm really hoping that the writers got all the tired meta jokes out of their system in this episode, because it was easily the weakest link in the premiere. Number 2. Hey! There's one plot point in this episode that really doesn't make sense to me. The entire conflict is started because Fry is disappointed that he hasn't accomplished anything throughout the 23 years he's been in the future. And I'm just sitting here like, what? Dude, I know you haven't exactly been Mr. Beast levels of productive throughout the years, but you accomplished a lot throughout the series. You saved New York from garbage suffocation with your sloppy skills, saved your future girlfriend from marrying one-eyed Al Bundy, discovered the lost city of Atlanta, Georgia, saved the Earth from the brain spawn with your non-existent brainwave, rescued your friends from Roberto, helped Leela find her true parents, and even became your own grandfather. And those are just some of the things off the top of my head. I know Fry isn't exactly super smart, but stupidity and memory don't exactly go hand in hand. You'd think he'd remember some of his accomplishments, or at least have a side character bring them up and then he dismissed them. You could call this a nitpick, but it does seem like a strange Kickstarter for the plot when it's blatantly not true. Number 3. Hey! This one's less of a hate and more of a huh. But there are a few voices that sound a twinge off when compared to the others. Mainly Billy West as Fry and Phil Lamar as Hermes. Hermes sounds too congested and low-pitched compared to his usual enthusiastic Jamaican self from the other seasons. And while Zoidberg and Farnsworth sound good, Fry's voice sounds way too raspy and low-key for the full-of-life everyman he's supposed to be. I know it's been 10 years and it would be stupid to expect zero changes at all, but I do hope that everyone in the cast will be able to retain their voices for their iconic roles, especially with more seasons apparently in the minds of the crew. I wouldn't say that they're past their prime or anything, but their voices really do stand out amongst the crowd of things that haven't changed one bit. Alright, so that's 7 love points and 3 hate points, bringing my first impression score to a 7 out of 10. A supremely solid start to what I hope will be a triumphant return for one of the greatest shows of all time. But overall, what do you guys think? Did this new premiere have you on the edge of your seat, or is it best to pretend this episode doesn't exist during your own binge session? Leave your thoughts in the comments below. Thanks for tuning in, everybody, and I hope to see you all real soon.